Welcome to the Worst of the RIOT podcast, Thursday, October 26th. The podcast that always leaves you with a smile. Today in the show, we talk about the worst places to go to the bathroom, places women do not want to go on dates. Some of them are the same. And a guy who got locked in a vault in a bank and was stuck in there for 10 hours.
Lots of good stuff on the podcast today. We also talk about how tipping is just getting out of control.
Isaiah has some good advice on that.
I do. I'm going to tell you how, if you don't feel like tipping, what you should do if you don't think it's necessary to set you at ease when you start getting nervous.
Yeah, good show today. You should take something out of it that will really help you, I believe. I think everybody who listens to this will be better off for it. So enjoy, and we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
You think tipping has gotten out of control these days?
I think that the asking of tips could be a little bit crazy at certain places, at certain times.
It's a big contributing factor, the different places. I've seen videos of people going off on like self-checkouts, asking for tips and stuff like that. People are getting upset. It's becoming too much. In fact, I have a survey here that says 75% of people say that tipping has gotten out of control. Yet, 56% of people still feel pressure to tip when the option pops up, no matter when or where, what the occasion is. You still feel, the majority of people are still feeling like if they ask you for a tip, you got a tip. That's tough.
But the thing is as you become more adjusted to this, at this point now, you should always expect whenever someone's holding one of those screens, if they flip it and they're holding it, you know there's going to be a tip there. I could be checking out anywhere. I could be checking out at AutoZone. It could be Kroger. I'm always tip ready. Not that I'm going to give it to them. I'm always ready to be asked. And then I'm immediately on the search for the no button.
Yeah.
Right away. And so for me, I feel like I am completely senseless to the tips now.
You've desensitized yourself to it.
Precisely.
I like that.
So if you're holding the thing, a lot of people get intimidated when they're holding it.
Yeah.
And they push it in your face.
Because they can tell, right? Where they know on the screen where the buttons are. They know. They can tell if you press the no. But
I've gotten to the point now where I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care that I said no to your face. So, have you ever been confronted? Like, has anyone ever said?
And what's the person at AutoZone going to do to you?
Yeah, exactly. You've already checked out.
Yeah. Are they going to remember you the next time? How often are you at AutoZone?
They know in their mind as well. They're a regular person. They really think they deserve a tip in that scenario?
Yeah, they need to look at. I mean, do you think they're uncomfortable with that?
I would be.
Because it's AutoZone. I don't know why AutoZone is the example.
We can change it. We can do the self-checkout at Kroger.
Yeah, but the employee is not the one who put that tip button there.
No.
It's some executive in a business, that's never worked actually at the store in their lives. That's like, what we could do that'd be nice for employees, boost morale, and really support them financially, is that we could put tip buttons on, a nice little bonus. And they probably feel like they're doing something real nice when really it's just annoying all of us.
It's just an awkward scenario for everybody.
If you
now.
polled the employees at whatever place at Graders, I don't think they would want a tip button.
But at the same time, they're making a little extra money.
Yeah. Once they start seeing how 47% of people say they tip for stuff that they wouldn't normally because they get asked to.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Then
you stop that.
They start seeing that money come in. I got one last question, and this is it's still related to tipping, but it's something I'm concerned about. Is we're getting close to the holidays. Are there certain professions that you tip only for the holidays, like you do it once a year? I'm thinking like mailman.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because if there are, I don't.
You're supposed to give them a little something extra?
I think there's some professions where you might do that. I just don't know what they are besides mailman.
Like maybe give them a cookie?
But if other people are giving the mailman like a hundo or something.
Then who are you giving them the sheet
just
cake,
give
you
them,
know?
Yeah, right.
Not their favorite. That's who you are.
That's right. They're going to spit in my mail.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't do anything special for any workers in my life around the holidays.
Maybe that's an old school way of thinking, perhaps.
Possibly.
Could be. It's definitely not my school of thinking, but I'm afraid I'm wrong.
Well, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you don't think you should be tipping and you feel as if you're pressured to do so, just think, what would Isaiah do? And then you can click the no tip button.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
You ready to ruin a bunch of people's weekends? You know, one of my favorite things to do, Isaiah, is the blame game. You ever like playing the blame game?
Play it every day at work.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking every time at work, if something goes wrong, what's the first thing you do?
You just blame someone else.
You think of somebody, or for a lot of times something else. It's the computer. It's the computer's fault. Don't hold me accountable. I can't be charged with this computer's crimes.
Oh, you can always come up with an excuse.
Yeah.
You can always come up with something.
Yeah. The first thing I think of when something goes wrong is not, how do I fix this? It's, how do I not get blamed for this?
Exactly.
Then, how do I fix this? Obviously, that's problematic because if you think about how to fix it first, you'll fix it quicker. But many of us, I think we're conditioned. We do not want to be blamed for things. And so we're conditioned to, whenever something is going wrong, try to first instinct is find somebody else to blame. Or if we can figure out who to blame, then at least we know who to be upset with, even though that doesn't necessarily help solve the problem at all. And I say all that because that's how we so often think. I think we also have the mindset of that God wants to blame us too. That Jesus is looking for somebody to blame. The problems in your life, if you were to come to God and ask him about it, he'd be like, well, whose fault is it? And if it's your fault, then why are you even asking him? But here's the great news, is that Jesus is not interested in playing the blame game at all, because just like in life in general, just like at work or whatever, figuring out who's to blame doesn't necessarily lead to a solution. So why is Jesus smarter than any of us? Why is he going to waste his time with that? And even if it is a problem that's your own fault, if him getting mad at you and blaming you, how's that going to help anything? It's not. Jesus isn't interested in playing the blame game. He's interested in helping you find solutions for your problems. Jesus can do that for you. So you can come to him with anything, whatever problem it is in life. Say, hey, God, I want some help with it. And he's not going to point fingers at you or anybody else. He's going to help you solve it, help you get better. You can do that from anywhere, wherever you are right now or anytime. Just say, hey, God, I want some help with stuff. And he'll do it. You want to know more? We got a free gift for you at RadioU.com/free gift.
If podcast awards were ever a thing, this show wouldn't win any. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I don't know if you've seen this list going around. Some gal made a list. We talked about the woman that supposedly refused to go on a first date to Cheesecake Factory last week. Now I've got a lady that's got 28 places she refuses to go on a first date. And she seems to be kind of speaking for all women that they don't want.
They love doing that.
They don't want these 28 places on a first date. I'm not going to list all of them because that would take a long time. Also, probably about half of them are chain restaurants like Cheesecake Factory and Applebee's. But we can go through a few of the other ones and see if women are justified. Like the movies is one of the options. At your house, or it's on there twice. At your house or at the theater. Either one, this woman at least refuses. Fair or foul?
I mean, this is everything that I would think of off the rip.
You would think the movies? I know the movies.
I wouldn't lean the movies.
The movies are tried and true, but I think that you're actually justified in saying no, I don't want to do that on my first
What about
date.
ice cream date? She has that
Nah.
off there. Or coffee date off.
Come on.
Bowling, no go.
She also says a bar just for drinks. Starbucks. She is eliminating. As we go through. A few of them are justified, but she doesn't really leave you with a lot of other choices.
She's saying essentially you have to take her somewhere that is like a small town restaurant. You have to take her to a local restaurant.
Uh-huh.
All I know is that when I saw this list, I didn't need to go any farther than seeing Cheesecake Factory listed as the first place she doesn't want to go, which is basic. I'll say it to her. It's basic. And then the audacity to have Cheesecake Factory at 1. That's the first thing that came to mind. And then Waffle House at 27. You're more likely, when you thought of places you didn't want to go, you went first to basic. Let me be as basic as possible and say it's Cheesecake Factory, because that's what other girls are saying right now, I guess. Then Applebee's at 2.
I believe.
And then you waited to 27 to get to a place that is actually a good answer of places I wouldn't want to go for a first date.
I believe, I would chalk it up to this. I think she must have heard our segment on the Cheesecake Factory date last week, because we explicitly mentioned like the Cheesecake Factory as well as then the next 2 places she listed, Applebee's and Chili's. She started with us as inspiration.
Yes.
And then came up with the rest of the list. And that's why Waffle House is so low, because we didn't mention it. But we did mention Chili's. I think she's a listener.
Who does she think she's going on a date with? Elon Musk? How much money does she think we got here for? It's our first date. Let's head straight to Home Depot.
She just
build you a new personality.
She did not, but she didn't list Home Depot too. So
I know that's where we're going.
That's apparently viable.
That's where we're going. We're gonna need some wood.
Yep.
We're gonna build a new personality. Is what we're gonna do.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
This is something crazy I didn't realize could actually happen in real life. A man in New York City got locked inside a bank vault, and he was stuck in there for more than 10 hours before he was finally able to be released. Apparently, he was accessing his safety deposit box. What do you put in a safety deposit box?
A bunch of valuable things.
And then you need to just go look at them every once in a while?
See, if I had anything valuable, I would know what to put in there. Currently, no valuables to my name.
This is such a foreign concept to us.
Yeah. I can't imagine anything that I own being so valuable that I need a place to put it.
Where you pay rent to save it.
Yes.
And it's
Outside of my
locked
own
in a
home
vault.
that I have to drive to.
It's in a vault, and then it's in another box that is also locked.
Like, someone could walk into my house today and be like, what would I even take? I don't even know what the first thing they would grab would be.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they would go for. I don't even know. There's something valuable in there. Walk on in. Take my dog, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Save me a lot of time.
A lot of trouble. So this guy was accessing his safety deposit box in a vault, a bank vault in New York City. Somehow, the employees were unaware that he was in there and closed the door. But then, and this is unclear to me, the employees then were unable to unlock the vault themselves, which doesn't seem like a good policy.
But that sounds like a good vault.
That is a good vault.
Hey, you're getting your money's worth there.
Uh-huh. Whatever he had in there was
safe.
Yeah, it sure is.
They can't even get it if they wanted to.
And so, because the employees weren't able to unlock the vault for him to get back out, they called the fire department. And the fire department was able to communicate with the man via, just like in the movies, with a security cameras and a phone system. They were able to see what he was doing, talk to him, whatever. They determined that he wasn't going to run out of oxygen. However, they still attempted to try to cut through a concrete wall to get into the vault, but they stopped when they reached metal plating, and they were worried that if they kept going, it could risk injury to the man. Yet again, that's a good vault. Even the firefighters, when given permission to try to get in there, couldn't do it.
Isn't it crazy that the firefighters are also the first people we call
For this?
to get into? They can just get in anywhere.
Yeah.
You want to cut open a car, firefighters?
They've got a tool for it.
Oh, we're not in the vault? Firefighters.
Yeah. Once they realized that, or decided that they were putting him at risk of injury if they kept trying to cut through, they also realized that he wasn't at risk of running out of oxygen and that the vault was on a timer. And so they just had to play the waiting game. And when it was all told, this guy wound up going overnight in the bank vault and was released at 6:15 a.m. after over 10 hours.
Well, you have to think 6:15 a.m., 10 hours prior to that. I mean,
8 p.m.
he's just sleeping, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's just a night of rest. So not the end of the world.
I hope
and when you come out, that bank owes you. You should be getting free voltage. You can put whatever you want.
Yeah, he should get a discount.
Yeah, you should.
Like, that would even mean anything to him if he's got enough money to put in the safe deposit box.
If he's got enough money to have something in there.
Yeah. I hope it was a pillow.
You would think it's something important.
Yeah.
What do you even do? I wonder, he just slept the whole night.
That's a long night of sleep.
On, like, the metal floor. A vault's cold, too.
It's probably like
metal
tile.
everywhere.
Probably a tile floor.
Ew.
I bet you it's clean, though.
Oh, it's
not
sparkling.
A lot of people going in there.
Silvery clean.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Of course.
It's time.
It's that time again.
To ruin your weekend. I don't know if you've seen the video that has come out of a worker, urinating into a tank of beer at a brewery.
I'm in danger.
Should we say which beer it is or just leave everybody guessing? Because I do know which one it is.
Which one is it?
It'd be an easy one to avoid. I'll just say it so everybody doesn't. It's Tsingtao. Tsingtao is in China.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you couldn't be drinking beer from China, but it wouldn't be from this brewery if you were drinking.
So this is only in China?
I guess that's likely.
And this guy was in China when he did this?
This event took place in China. There's security footage of a man relieving himself into a tank full of beer ingredients at a brewery for Tsingtao beer in China. Yes.
We got to stop them.
Put a stop to all imports right now.
Yep.
Because
that's wild. That is just unreal.
In fact, burn the whole factory to the ground, I think.
That is unbelievable.
And you know what's bad is this has been caught on video. That means it could have happened other times where it wasn't on video.
How long?
How long has this gone on? The video came out 2 days ago.
How long have you been doing this for? Stop this. Who is this wild man?
Apparently, does this make it better? It was an external contractor. He didn't actually work for the brewery. He was just working at the brewery.
Oh, so this is a guy that you're saying goes around to different breweries.
That's right. He could. Who knows?
This isn't just a Tsingtao thing.
Yeah.
You're telling me this is an outside source. This guy comes in and cleans tank to tank or something for a myriad of breweries.
So just to be safe, probably just abstain this weekend. Unless, I don't know, it's alcohol. Does that make it?
Carl says wouldn't change the flavor.
I was going to say, does the alcohol, it kills the bacteria, right? So maybe it's still safe.
Tastes just as bad.
Yeah. I did have a question. I was going to ask, what's the most inconvenient and wrong place you've ever gone to the bathroom?
I mean, nothing touches this.
No, definitely not.
This is like a felony.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
For me personally, it's always the road trip.
Yeah, just on the side of the road.
Or, I mean, just like in the Gatorade bottle.
Oh, yeah, the trucker bombs, you do that. For me...
There's times when you have to. There's no other choice. My dad gets very irritated because I have a small bladder.
Uh-huh.
Very irritated with the amount of stops that I have to take.
I don't think you have a small bladder. I think you have the wrong mindset. If you tell yourself, here's something I learned a while ago. It's helped me a lot.
Okay.
When your body initially tells you that you have to go to the bathroom, your bladder's only like 20% full.
Really?
Yeah.
Stop it. That's not true.
It's true. And so now if I'm like in a spot where I can't go to the bathroom. I only recently learned this, but it's worked so far. Then I'm just like, you're only 20%. You still got 80 to go. And then it helps you. Mind over matter.
That makes sense to me.
But before that, you want to hear my worst inconvenient bathroom story?
Yes.
It's not like that great of a story. But I was driving the RadioU vehicle. I was driving to a music festival out in the middle of nowhere. I took a wrong turn, so I wasn't even on the highway. There wasn't like an exit I could take or whatever. So it wasn't somebody's like yard, but it was just some random spot that I just pulled off in the RadioU.
In the
vehicle.
RadioU van, you should be fired for that.
Do you think that's a fireable offense?
That's a probation.
Hopefully the statute of limitations has lifted on that.
Like, it was so long ago.
But I meant like it was somebody, I don't know if it's somebody's property because it was out in the middle of nowhere, but what if they came out at that time?
Nothing would have made me happier. Are you Hudson from RadioU?
RadioU, I'm calling your employer. This is my property.
I'm not listening either.
8772 RadioU. It's the worst place you ever had to go.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.